also this beautiful copy of Hieronymus Portius painting. Frank cars. Today I wanted to show you industrial visitation. Now, Malcom Godwin presents an exquisite volume that goes the angels one better in vividness, detail, variety, and fancy. In a light and entertaining style that reflects comprehensive and painstaking research, Angels takes you on a guided tour through all the lore from ancient times to the present. Meet all the winged messengers from Metatron, the mighty angel of the Kabbalah, who is said to once have been Enoch the patriarch, to Gabriel, the only female archangel, encountered the Ophanim, the ancient beings who resembled resplendent, many-eyed whales, and their possible modern-day equivalents. Savor the richness and complexity of the medieval angelic pantheon, illustrated by ingenious charts and diagrams. The book is full of beautiful illustrations and pictures and lots of very interesting texts. I will give you a short sneak peek. I will read to you a very short paragraph here and there from the book, and let me know in the comments if you would love me to read the whole book to you in whispers, so you can learn about the angels as well as relax and fall asleep. Okay, let's start. The first part of this volume is really a separate miniature reference manual. It inventories the entire angelic host as it was known at the peak of its most dazzling golden epoch during the late Middle Ages in Europe. It coincided with the new vision of the Renaissance, is fascinating to discover that the image of the angel has hardly altered from this epoch, almost as if time had not touched the species' golden youth. Somehow the angel has been sealed in a time-proof capsule, and it is this eternally young form which we all respond to and vaguely acknowledge when the subject arises. After this blaze of glory, quite suddenly, angels cease to have the full doctrinal blessings of the Church. During the Inquisition of the following 200 years, the authorities turned their undivided attentions to the fallen host of devils and demons. However, through popular piety, and an almost pagan worship of the celestial spirits, angels retained and powerful emotional hold upon most believers. Angels retained a powerful emotional hold upon most believers. The evolution of the idea of a unique angelic species can be viewed from countless angles. Historically speaking, for instance, they are clearly the hybrid result of an extraordinary Hebrew program of crossbreeding. In a way, this treasury of angelic lore is somewhat like a time-sealed museum, a rare collection of old and precious things. However, a true treasure house does not necessarily imply either classification or meaning. It is simply a place to display the elaborate gems of a lore which spans a historical period of over 4,000 years. Whether the collection still retains a significance in this century or is merely shelves of paper angels which are the creation of scholars and priests is a question reserved for the second half of the volume. Either way, belief in angels have persisted in popular lore, while the church from which they sprang almost seems embarrassed by references to them. It is as if the beliefs of their golden age had been caught in the years of perpetual youth by some medieval camera or fixed in polished amber like exotic archaic files. We will now examine some of those unique portraits. The first wing, heavenly hierarchy. Italian bureaucracy is claimed to be the closest to that of heaven. It works solely by divine intervention and takes eternity for anything to happen. One glimpse into the celestial archive certainly makes anyone wonder just what might occur in an emergency. The observer can get quickly lost in the unbelievable complexity of the various orders and departments, the changing numbers of heavens, the conflicting hierarchies, and the duplications of department heads. Sorry, this is just a side note, that just sounds like my corporate work. It seems obvious in such a heavenly model why the dark forces have such an easy and unopposed life on Earth. But much of the apparent confusion actually arises from the conflicting accounts of our authoritative sources. The theologians are even worse than the saints. Few even agree on the nature of the celestial hierarchies, let alone on what their various duties and missions might be. For instance, no two authorities see eye to eye on who the archangels are. While it is generally thought that they are 7, Islam only recognizes 4. Often, an archangel appears as a member of an entirely different angelic order far higher up the celestial league table. That same archangel might also appear as warden of more than one heavenly domain, while simultaneously operating as the angel of death and the terrible Duke of Hell. The 9 Course. In order to make some sense of what first appears to be an unholy mess, we will adopt the most standard and orthodox hierarchy of the angels. According to both the two foundational texts, the celestial hierarchies of Dionysus and the Summa Theologica by Thomas Aquinas, there are 9 celestial orders orbiting the throne of glory, rather like that of our own planetary system. The 9 angelic orders surrounding the divine core appear within the following 3 distinct groups. The first group is called Highest Triad, and this includes the seraphims, the cherubims, and the thrones. Then the second one is Middle Triad. This includes dominations, virtues, and powers. And the last one is called the Lowest Triad, and it includes principalities, archangels, and angels. We can now enter a mysterious landscape where few have been for many centuries. I will stop the reading now. We will then go through the upper triad, the different cores. And we go through the whole heavenly hierarchy. the 7 Earths or worlds are actually 7 planets and not even necessarily within our own solar system. We might well ask the question whether the angels actually came from the 7 planets rather than the 7 heavens. There are many accounts of angels coming to Earth and losing their angelic memory and superior intelligence by taking on the characteristics of mortals. Considering that these fragments from the Kabbalah can be traced to Rabbi Simon, who lived almost 2000 years ago and who even then was counting a tradition probably over 4000 years old, it appears that the biblical times were not so primitive as we have fondly imagined them. That's so true. Recently, I watched a very good video of this YouTuber called TREYtheExplainer, and he has amazing YouTube channel. He's an archaeologist. I'm not sure what type of archaeology he specializes in. For sure he mentioned it, but I can't recall now. Anyways, the whole channel, lots of very, very interesting things about dinosaurs, about anthropology, prehistorical anthropology, like amazing stuff. And meetings with angels. Yet the patients are as adamant in their beliefs of the reality of what they have seen as any biblical pamphlet. Even under deep hypnosis, the visionary will maintain that the phenomenon was real. A mystic like William Blake would have convinced any lie detector that they actually saw angels, even when there were a number of impartial observers who saw nothing when he insisted that the angels were present. Many psychologists would agree that the whole imaginative aspect of angel sightseeing might be neatly summed up as either seeing is believing or believing is seeing. Both situations have belief as the bottom line. Simply put, anyone who's supported by a particular belief system expects to experience a particular phenomenon is all the more likely to have that experience. One psychologist put it neatly: demonic possessions happen to those who believe in demonic possessions. There is a beautiful anecdote concerning the power of belief. It comes from the psychiatrist Ronald Lang and concerns a patient who always believes what her husband told her. One evening, entering her lounge unexpectedly and finding her husband with a naked woman on the couch, she stumbled and asked, "Who is this woman?" Her husband, seemingly a resourceful man, answers, "It's not a woman, it's a waterfall." The wife is caught in a real bind. She has always believed her husband, and yet her instincts and her eyes tell her something entirely different. This double bind situation is one of the roots of the psychological distress found in many schizophrenics. This wife senses her total being, cried one perception, while her habitual belief system calmly told her quite the opposite. When confronted by such a double bind, person can simply block out the unacceptable part or the habitual response to it. A similar principle seems to be in operation when a witness blocks a memory of encounters with angels, spirits, guides, demons, or even extraterrestrials. Sometimes such memories only surface under deep hypnosis. How many crucial messages from above may have been lost to humanity simply because the subject cannot acknowledge what appeared to be real, simply because it didn't fit into his or her belief system. Yeah. Then there is a chapter about the anatomy of angels and their wings, and that they could never fly given the anatomy. So I can't wait for this one to read. It's so interesting. Then I think there is chapter about encounters, Asian encounters. And then modern encounters. It's gonna be so interesting. Lots of it is about UFO. It basically talks about our modern day superheroes. And they are kind of like angelic properties. So it says that the benevolent guardian angel of the 1940s was, of course, Superman. While a cloak replaced the wings, this expression of the all-powerful guardian archetype, who battled the evil dragons of satanic violence, greed, and injustice, replaced the Archangel Michael in the popular imagination. On the one hand, he was timid Mr. Everyman of the city streets and offices, and yet in the next instant he was transformed into supernatural righteous angel of mercy. Of course, he was also one of the very first popular ET race whose home planet was Krypton. And then we have the same thing about Batman. There is also a chapter about physicists and their kind of like explanation or take on angels. I also cannot wait to read this one. And then there is the chapter on the Last Judgment. Then there is also a little chapter about the New Age kind of spirituality, contacting the higher self. It says this New Age has brought to the surface many spiritual ideas, which are odd combinations of the teachings of the East, of Western esotericism, of the occult, and the North American shamanism. One concept which has its corresponding reality for those who practice it is the belief in a higher self.